Hey everyone, Stephen Ray Morris here at Comic-Con right now. Very excited to bring you this episode with Minorities in Shark Sciences co-founder and shark scientist Carlee Jackson. There's a ton of opportunities with Minorities in Shark Sciences. In the show notes, they're doing a lot of cool stuff. Obviously, Shark Week is next week. Going from Comic-Con to Shark Week, very exciting. And yeah, go check that out. Thank you again to everyone who came to the Jurassic Park 3 25th anniversary event. And yeah, that's all the news for now. Just enjoy this episode with Carlee Jackson.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Filled with awe and fright, see Jurassic Right, bathed in amber light. See Jurassic Right, see Jurassic Right, right. See Jurassic Right, right. See Jurassic Right, right. See Jurassic Right, see Jurassic Right, see Jurassic Park.
All right. Well, it's Stephen Ray Morris. This is See Jurassic Right. I'm not going to waste any time because my guest is a co-founder of an organization that I've talked a lot about on this podcast. It's not dinosaur related, but look, they're older than dinosaurs. Like, that's a big deal. They're a shark scientist, they're an author, co-founder of Minorities in Shark Sciences, the director of communications. It's Carlee Jackson. Hey!
Hello! Excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for wanting to chat with me. I've talked to your fellow co-founders, Jada and Dr. Amani Weber-Schultz as well, so I feel like it's finally nice to get to chat with you.
Yes, awesome. Yes, I know. It's like getting the four of us is like different checkpoints, I guess. Or collecting the different, Infinity Stones.
Is it exciting when you're all like together doing stuff? Is that like the most fun?
For sure, yeah, because we all literally live on like 4 different corners. Me and Jasmine are the closest to each other. She's in Sarasota, I'm in Palm Beach, and Jada is in Massachusetts, Boston area, and then Amani's like New Jersey. So we're just like, at one point we were literally on like different coasts, so it's always super exciting when all 4 of us can get back together.
Well, congrats on 6 years of MIISS. Just to summarize for audiences, again, I've been yapping about you guys for a while, but like, what is MIISS, and what have the success stories been since you've started?
Yeah, so MIISS is a nonprofit organization officially, and we are an organization that is dedicated to making shark science more accessible, and we particularly focus on gender minorities of color. And, essentially we started because we saw that there was a need for just, at the very basic need of getting experience in shark science and just knowing where to go with your career, like even just through school. And we really just wanted to make it easier for, people to become shark scientists. And we saw that there was a need because the 4 of us, when we first met each other, at least for me, it was my first time meeting another Black human that was in shark science.
Oh,
so
wow.
it was just, So I was just like, what? We all are Black girls. Oh, I just love it. So it was just so exciting. And that is what jump-started MIISS. That is what started MIISS, is our shared connection and our shared, we saw that there was a need, and we just also didn't want it to be so surprising to see another Black girl in shark science. Like, come on.
Yeah. But, no, totally. And also I feel like I think some people don't even realize how many hurdles there are, even just like expense wise, or just having the time and resources to go do things like go diving or go tagging sharks and stuff.
Exactly. And also people don't know that there are so many different focuses that you can have in shark science. Like, if you don't even like the water, you're like, I don't even want to swim, but I want to do something with sharks, then you can do that. You can still be a shark scientist and do that. Like, work in the lab. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Not the same thing, but you're working with sharks. You're a shark scientist. So, so we definitely, that is our main goal. And well, that is our main mission. That's our main focus. And we carry out our mission through a lot of different programs. We essentially have like three main pillars of MIISS. We have our professional development and our education and outreach. And we also have our collaborative research. So we have a community of MIISS members, so gender minorities of color who apply to be in our membership and essentially get access to all the resources that we provide. They share resources with each other and also get access to a lot of our programs. Like we have internships, fellowships, our education outreach. We do a lot of K through 12 education. We have a lot of different programs for that. And of course, like just people who might be already in undergrad, or maybe they're trying to do a little career switch. So that's where our professional development and like career building pillar really comes in.
That's awesome. And yeah, no, it's been 6 years. We'll talk a little bit about Shark Week in a bit, but I just remember I feel like a year in, some of you were on like Nat Geo shows, and it was just like, wow, it's like after a year, like that was like already happening. It was really exciting to see.
Yeah, that was really cool. Nat Geo like kind of saw us because we blew up a little at the beginning because, you know, it's not every day that you see a lot of Black girls doing shark science all together. So it was like, whoa, like this is happening. And also other people understood and felt that this was a need and really believed in our mission. But it was really cool because Nat Geo actually ended up partnering with us, and we would essentially like supply them shark experts. And like our members were, they had the door open to pitch shows to Nat Geo. Essentially, like, yeah, they would come to our membership essentially for their shark expertise and have them in the show. And I was in a show like, was that 2021, I think, 2022, something like that. And it was really cool. It was like my first big thing with Nat Geo. And I was like, this is crazy. But I was like, little me, what am I doing on here? But then I was like, actually, no, you're a dumb bitch and you're supposed to be on here. So, it was super exciting. It's like mind blowing sometimes. You know, you're just like, the four of us just had this idea and had this drive and felt like we had to do something. And now, like, we literally are just making such big changes in shark science and providing all these really cool opportunities for people.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. And yeah, are there, I mean, besides the sort of major science challenges that are going on in this country now, is there anything else that you guys are like in the 6 years that you're like, okay, here's the stuff that, you know, either people are pushing back on, or you're like, okay, there actually is more work to do here on this side?
Yeah, I would say with all nonprofits, essentially like small or medium-sized nonprofits, funding is such a big challenge. And especially with the recent anti-science in our federal funding lately, we actually did lose a lot of money because of that. Ugh. So that was a big thing and a big challenge, big hurdle. And, you know, other challenges is definitely how fast we were growing. Like we were growing so fast, so big, but then there was just like me and Jasmine at one point. It was just me and her. And then like, you know, everyone else helping where they could, because also Amani started her PhD program. Jada also started her PhD program. I was getting married at one point. Like it was just a lot going on. So just having enough help internally, you know, like that internal structure, we were outgrowing our internal structure. So, but you know, we have two full-time staff now, two part-time staff. Yes. So, you know, we're on the up and up. So, but really just being able to get those help and the resources. Thankfully, we do have a lot of people who offer us help and resources. So, but yeah, that was definitely a big challenge. Was like, we have like 5 different programs going on, and I'm over here driving to Sarasota, and then like Jasmine's like, I need your help for this, and I'm like, yes, we're going, and we're flying all across the U.S. to do member regional meetings, and it was just, but like honestly, you know, it's just part of the growth. It's kind of fun, like you know, looking back, you're like, oh yes, that was, but
Yeah, no,
But yeah.
you're going to look back in like 10 years and 20 years and it'll be exciting.
Oh yeah, it's super cool.
What's your shark origin story? How did you get into sharks?
Yes, I always love telling the story. So I'm originally from Michigan, Detroit specifically, and we've got it's landlocked, but we've got the Great Lakes, but there's no sharks there. But I grew up there, and I remember my mom took me to a book fair, and there was this book that just had a picture of a shark on it. Like, I promise you, I had never looked at sharks before, never thought about them, never. But this picture of the shark, it just got me for some reason. And I was just like, I want to read that book. I was also really into predators. Like, I was really into dinosaurs and like alligators, crocodiles, and anything that had big teeth. I just was really into it.
Yeah.
So my mom got me the book and I read it and I just was like, this is it. Like, this is it. Like, sharks are amazing and I want to be a shark scientist. Like, literally, it was just reading that book and I was about 6 years old-ish, just about 6. Yeah. And it literally was history from there. So like, my access to sharks was always just through books. I literally would go to the library and just read as many books as I could on sharks. Like, at one point I did run out of books at the library to read.
You're like, I just need, next step is to get somewhere where I could see a shark in person. Yes. But it's great that, we have, I don't know, I just see, it's like when you're a kid, I don't know, what is it about the ocean that is so alluring? And yeah, for sharks, for you, was it, again, you were mentioning their teeth, but I don't know, it's because I feel like so many people are exposed to like Jaws growing up first. Mm-hmm. And so I'm always really excited when people have like non-scary, first interaction, or, when they start absorbing sharks, that for you, so it was not scary at all, or was it a little scary?
No, I just remember the thing that got me was how many different types of sharks there were and how all the different colors. Like, I specifically remember, I'm pretty sure I still have the book somewhere, but there's this page that it's just very colorful because it has like an epaulet shark, like a pajama cat shark, and like a little bamboo shark. So they're just like very like patterned and colorful. And I think a zebra shark in there too. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, sharks are so pretty, like, sharks are so cool. And also the superpowers that they had, like the cool electrosensory organs they had, that really like drew me in. But yeah, I just remember thinking like, there are so many different sharks. Like, this is wild.
Yeah, no, it's like real life Pokemon almost or something.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
What's the deal with Shark Week? Like, I feel like there's been this, I get, well, for people watching the video, there's just been this, like, I don't know what the right,
I don't even know either.
Wavy relationship with Shark Week over the years. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess, is it good? Is it bad? Is it somewhere in between now? Like, where are we at?
Yeah, like, I grew up watching, like, Shark Week was a holiday. Like, that was my thing. And I feel like lately they've just gone more of the sensational route. Like, it's always been pretty sensational, but I guess more of like the pop culture-y route, but like not in a way where they're bringing in celebrities to have these great shark experiences, but more of like this more ridiculous thing. I don't know, just ridiculous named shows. I can't even, for some reason, my brain is not pulling a show name out, but like, they've had some pretty ridiculous shows. And especially when they did that, they pulled that. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah.
Okay, when they pulled that shit with the Megalodon documentary, I think that was actually like the last year that I watched Shark Week. I was just like, really? Like, does no one else see that this is CGI and this is like clearly like not a real, this is staged? Like, oh, they're saying this is a documentary. Oh, I was so disappointed.
Well, it's got to be hard because I feel like, as somebody who loves sharks, it's something that got you into it. But at the same time, there, some of those shows do have these fear-mongery aspects to it. Like, how do people come to you and they're like, what's real, what's not? Like, and you're like, I feel like anytime I talk to somebody who's a shark scientist, they're like, yeah, there's always the stats of like, how many more people die taking a selfie, or like, falling off a bridge or something than being eaten by a shark.
Yeah, no, everyone always likes to tell me that the Meg is still alive and like living somewhere. And I'm just like, they're like, do you think the Meg is really extinct? I'm like, yes, it's gone. And they're like, but how? And I'm like, you know how big those sharks were? You know what they need to eat? We would not be seeing many whales, or we'd see whales with like big ass chunks taken out of them. Like, but people, if you're not a shark scientist, you don't really think of that. You're just like, ooh, big shark hiding in the deep water. Probably a thing.
It's like, the Meg is extinct. The Megalodon is extinct, but it was because Jason Statham killed him.
Yes. And that movie, have you ever read the the Meg series, like the books? Oh my gosh, the books are actually really good, and they're more like, I just read the Jurassic Park series, and it is very similar to that, as in it's very sciencey and like horror. Like you're like scared. We're like, oh, what's gonna happen next? But like, I think there's 4 or 5 books in the series, and I definitely recommend it. The author name is I'm not remembering the author name, but it's the Meg. And when I heard about the movie coming out, I was like, are they going to stick to the book, or are they going to make it a little? And I was like, oh, it's like a spoof. This is not what it's supposed to be. But
that's cool that they're more science focused.
Yeah, they're actually really good. I recommend.
And it's funny, when I had Dr. Amani Weber Schultz on my Back to School series last year on the podcast, she mentioned that sharks are older than Saturn's rings, and that's become my like at a party, like crazy
fun fact.
Yeah. Are there any other shark facts like that kind of blew your mind growing up, or even now with your work?
Let's see. Sometimes I'm like, is this a fact that would blow other people's mind? Like, or is it? Let's see. One of my favorite facts, at least about my favorite shark, is the nurse shark. That their suction force it's as strong as up to 10 vacuums, like 10 standard vacuums. Yes.
Wait, so like their suction, like their mouth?
Yeah, the way they just suck up the fish or the conch or the lobster. It's the force of 10 vacuum. That was in the study that they did, that was like the strongest that it got up to. It was like 100 pk, something like that. And that's about 10 vacuums. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. That also explains a lot of why they like don't let go usually. But
whoa. And also, I didn't know sharks could eat lobsters.
Yeah. So some sharks this was the other thing that really got me with sharks, with how diverse they are, because there's over 500 different shark species. And another mind-blowing fact, over 500 different shark species. And the reason why they've been able to survive as long as, before Saturn's rings, is because they're so diverse. They fit in so many different niches, whatever you say, niche, tomato. They fit in so many different niches, and they're just able to adapt over time. And they're very highly specialized in their specific ecosystem. So nurse sharks are bottom feeders, so that's why their mouth is kind of at the bottom of their face, and they have crushing jaws and crushing teeth. And their teeth are they're small little teeth, but they're pointed backwards and they're kind of flat at the bottom. And that's so they can literally crunch through those shells. So they'll literally just crunch through a lobster, a crab. Probably they can also just suck a conch right out of the shell.
Oh my gosh, it's like an oyster,
literally, yes. There's videos of them doing that, like cornering it and just slurping it out. Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and there's other sharks that eat crunchy things like that. But yeah, each shark, they're specialized in their ecosystem, built for it.
I just had a thought. Wait, are there any vegetarian sharks?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay, not vegetarian, but omnivorous shark. So the bonnethead shark, it was like a couple years ago that they discovered that bonnethead sharks will eat seagrass. So they like to have a little seagrass salad with their crab because they also eat crabs or shrimp. So
Whoa.
yes, and at
Cool.
first they thought like maybe they just were eating it while they were eating, like they just happened to eat seagrass, but they actually like it's a big enough part of their diet where they're actively seeking out and eating seagrass, and that's wild.
That's cool. Just as giving them a variety of nutrients, or just kind of just how they evolved to survive with that.
Yeah, that's how they've evolved to survive. And I'm not sure if they actually really know of why they've evolved to eat the seagrass yet. But yeah, I think it's wild. Like, we really thought that all sharks were pescivores, or carnivores, but no, there's that one, and they're so cute too, little bonnethead sharks. I don't know if you know what a bonnethead shark is.
I'm trying to imagine it in my head. I feel like because there's like what are the ones with the big eyes that are like always like, oh help, I'm lost.
I'm dead. That's the thresher shark, probably.
Thresher shark, okay. Like, right? They always look like they're lost. Like they're just like at the grocery store and their mom, their dad like walked around the corner to grab something and they're like, help me.
Like, I'm in danger. No, no, they're actually in the hammerhead shark family. So there's, I can't remember how many species. There's a couple different species of hammerhead sharks. You have your typical they're great hammerheads. They have like more of a flat hammer face, and bonnethead sharks, they're actually the smallest species of hammerhead. They're super cute. They max out at like 4 feet ish, maybe. And they have like more of a round head, like a bonnet, like that. But yeah, they're super cute. They're adorable. I recommend looking up pictures of bonnetheads after.
Oh my gosh. You just made me think too of just look, the algorithm has definitely put so much shark stuff in my feed in the last year. And like, you just see those big groups of hammerhead sharks. And I feel like you see memes about like sharks gathering with the moon. Like what, like, is that a real thing? I don't know, the idea that, because I guess, it seems like animals have those extra senses that we don't even know about, or that like we don't have, I guess.
Yeah, the scalloped hammerhead migration, that happens, I think, in like the Galapagos and some other areas in the world. But that's like I can't remember the purpose of those migrations, but migrations typically they're like following the food source, or they're migrating to wherever like the mating grounds are. And there have been some observations of sharks like possibly correlating their movement with the moon and full moon. Yeah, when full moons happen, full moon nights. But I can't think of anything where they've actually figured out like exactly why, but that's definitely something that I know a couple people are looking at and they have questions about too. Like, but you're right, they have like all these senses, these electromagnetic senses to figure out where they are in Earth, because they don't have a GPS. It's all up here. So
that's so wild to think about, and I wonder. Yeah, I guess it's like, why don't we have that? But I guess but sharks have been around for
directionally challenged. Like I didn't know my directions until I moved to Florida, because I was like, oh, the ocean is east. As long as I know where the ocean is, I know where I am.
No, it is just incredible that, they've existed for so long, that they've just had the time. Who knows? Maybe in, hundreds of millions of years, maybe we would all have, a better sense of direction, or be able to. Yeah. Yeah. Allie Ward, from Ologies, she said that sharks get sunburnt. She learned that. Is that true?
You know what? I saw that question and I forgot to look it up, but I have heard of that. I know that sharks are there can be different colors. Like, I'm thinking back to nurse sharks, like they can be different shades of brown. They can be light brown or darker brown, or like a super super dark brown, and we think it's based on how shallow they are. Like the more shallow sharks are usually a little darker, and the ones that are deeper down are more like a pale color. So they definitely, I don't know if they actually produce melanin. I need to do some. I'm going to do some research on this, but yeah. So it's very possible that they could get sunburn too. If they can get tan, I feel like if you can get tan, then you probably can't get sunburn.
It's just one of those things I think it's just anytime I learn more about animal behavior or animals, it's just like, I don't know, you're just, the world is so much more interesting and strange in that way.
Yeah,
and so
sure.
I just one of those things where I just like, now I just think about it like, oh, can sharks get sunburn? Like, but they can tan. So I'm like, okay, well now that's something I'm just going to like keep me up at night.
Yes.
As far as like shark portrayals in the media, like I feel like, when I talked to Amani, I was just like, wait, is Baby Shark like the most positive representation of sharks in the last, but I feel like, right, like they've been going through a redemption arc. I mean, I remember growing up like, or both my parents said they were scared to go into the water because they were, my mom had already graduated high school, or my mom graduated out of high school and my dad was still in high school when Jaws came out, and both of them were scared to go in the water. Like, is my feeling that there is this redemption arc for sharks in the last 10 years true? Do you feel like that's true?
I feel like it is true in the sense that more shark scientists are kind of getting more into science communication, I think, and spreading out, the positive things about sharks. But I feel like in media, it's still got a ways to go because, the last couple of movies that came out with sharks, what was it? Sharks in a Hurricane? Like,
no.
There's a hurricane happened and the sharks are eating people in this hurricane. And there was another one that just came out on Netflix, actually.
I was going to say, I feel like there was one with like Jai Courtney, like I think it was called like Deep Water. And it was the same thing of like a twisted man is using sharks to like feed women to, and you're like, it's 2026. Like
what are we doing? But yeah, I think maybe in, National Geographic does a good job of, having a more emphasizing the science with the sharks, and they still can work on their titles. Sometimes their titles are a little bit too sensational for me. Like the one I was on was called Shark Attack Files. And I will tell you that is not the name of the show when I first started filming. That was not the name of the series. But I digress. But unfortunately, that is what grabs people's attention. Those like very sensational titles, like they see attack or like something crazy. Like, what did Shark Week have one year? It was like Great White Serial Killer, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that is terrible.
I know.
Like just literally like making the sharks be evil.
Yeah, they're not evil. They're just like pups, sea pups.
They're just doing their thing, and we're in the way sometimes. So.
Right? What is it? I feel like people share when they say shark infested waters, it's like, wait, that's their home.
Yeah. It's like a shark coming up on land and being like, oh my gosh, it is a human infested earth. Like,
yeah. Talk about your shark encounters. What have you, I want to hear all your stories about time with sharks.
Yes. So many. One of my favorites kind of goes back to when I was doing shark research for my thesis in Belize. So I was in Kikulker and doing some surveys with nurse sharks, and we were in the water with these nurse sharks, and literally all we've seen are like nurse sharks and stingrays all the months that I was there. And then randomly one day, a hammerhead decided to just like cruise by. Like the boat captain was like, hammerhead. And I'm like, say what? And he was like, there's a hammerhead over there. So I'm like, I swim to where he's pointing, and I'm like, where is this shark? And then she just like comes out of the seagrass, like just comes out of the blur. And I'm like, oh, we like lock eyes. And I'm like, you're so pretty. But it was my first time in the water with a big shark. Like she had to have been like around 8 feet, probably about 7 to 8 feet. And it was a great hammer for sure. And I remember also all the stingrays kind of like pieced out because that's like what I was like, that hammerhead probably comes over here at night and munches on some of these stingrays. But it was really cool because that area mostly saw nurse sharks, because they're the only nurse sharks, and whale sharks are the only sharks protected in Belize by law. Because some Belizeans are, scared of sharks, and they fish them pretty much to. There's no sharks really around their island, no big sharks. Yeah. There's a lot of reef sharks and, like I said, nurse sharks. But most of the bigger sharks are a little bit past the reef. But so it was really cool to see that shark. And, it was, like I said, my first time in the water with big sharks. And she kind of cut me off from the group. So I was like, this is kind of, but she literally just circled, just checked us out and then left. But she probably was like, what's all this happening? Yeah. But also what was funny is there were tourists in the water from some tour group, and there was probably almost 75 people in the water, and they had no idea that the shark was around. None at all. We're just oh well.
Wow.
But it left. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorites. And I've had a couple since then for sure. And was able to get in the water with the big hammerheads in Bimini. That's actually where I did my Nat Geo shoot, was in Bimini, Bahamas. In the water with hammerheads and some bull sharks. And then I think about one of my favorite moments with sharks with research was when we were doing a workshop with MIISS, and I was restraining this nurse shark, and Jasmine was next to me, and I was on the tail. And I looked down, and I see a little cloaca, this little tail. And I was looking, I was like, oh my gosh, it's a tail. It's a baby. I think it's a baby. And I'm like, what? And the tail, the mama shark's tail is going. So I'm holding the tail down, and Jasmine grabs the little baby, pulls it, and it's like, I got it. And literally this shark was this big. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. It was so cute. And we put it in a bucket. And what was really cool about that whole thing was that we got samples from the mom, and we were able to get samples from a newborn, neonate. That's what a newborn shark is. And that doesn't happen very often. And it's really cool. It just, you can see the just the physiology relationship between the mom and the pup. So that was really cool.
Whoa.
Probably one of my favorite research moments for sure.
But yeah, what does it feel like to hold down a shark? That's got to be an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it's really, you'd be surprised actually. Bigger sharks are, I won't say easier to restrain, but they are less feisty than the smaller sharks, because your smaller sharks, you think about it, they still can get eaten by the bigger sharks. So they're just always in fight or flight mode. They're just don't eat me. I just want to get away. And then the bigger sharks, they kind of fight you when you're trying to get them on the platform or along the boat, depending on your research methods. But once they get there, especially once you get them on the platform, they're kind of just okay.
You got me.
You got me. This is a lot of gravity. I'm too big for you to probably eat me. So just get me back in the water.
Yeah.
So, nurse sharks are always the exception. They're the exception to every rule. Nurse sharks are a little bit more I wouldn't say almost fresh, because they're able to buccal pump. So they're able to actually they can still breathe essentially when you have them on the platform. So they're a lot more energetic. They have muscles in their pectoral fin. So they literally can do this, walk with them. So if you're on the shark and he's and you're we call it the nurse shark rodeo, actually. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, they're and they suck while you're on them, and they'll just they're a lot. They are a lot. Yeah. But most other sharks, your more sharky sharks, they're just okay, once you get them all situated. But it is really cool. You feel like a little badass. You're yes, I am restraining a shark, and this animal is 20 times heavier than me, but I got them, and we're doing research with them, and I look like a cool badass. But you wouldn't know that because they only show white men named Mike on Shark Week.
We need to get, yeah. That just makes me think there should be like, if there was like some fantasy or sci-fi thing of like having nurse sharks be like people like riding them into battle or something like that. Or, I don't know.
Yes, they are definitely like, they're almost indestructible, almost.
Oh my gosh. Just even, I'm just like, now that like, what is it called? The cartoon when we were a kid, Street Sharks. It's like the muscly.
Oh my gosh!
Yes. It was like Ninja Turtles, but like
yes, I know
sharks, and I was like,
about,
I wonder if they were all like nurse sharks, or if they were going to be accurate. You know what I mean?
Exactly. If they were accurate, it would be nurse sharks. They'd have to give them little mustaches, little barbels.
Oh my god! Wait, what did those do?
Oh, so they're little barbels. They just are extrasensory organs, so they just help with sensing movement in the water mainly. And I think some electrosensory as well, just on those little barbels, but mainly just for feeling movement in the sand, since a lot of their prey is in the sand.
That's right. You said they're a bottom feeder.
Mm-hmm.
This is always my selfish question I ask any shark scientist. Is there an ethical way to swim with sharks?
It is such a complicated answer
I know, I'm sorry.
But no, it's fine. That's actually my master's thesis and my main research focus, like what really gets my interest, is how tourism, ecotourism, like how human interaction, like purposeful human interaction with a shark, how that affects sharks. And I'm mostly interested in like movement and behavior. But for the most part, in my opinion, because you're going to have lots of different opinions from different shark sciences, the most ethical way is to go to an area where sharks are known to be and hope that you get blessed by seeing a shark. That is the most ethical way. I feel like there's many places that you are guaranteed to see a shark, and many reefs, especially in healthy reefs.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I remember I was just in Sri Lanka for Sharks International Conference, and we did some snorkeling at an island, and there was no food or anything being thrown in, and we saw like 3 or 4 sharks.
Oh.
So just going to areas that or the guide knows that sharks, you're known to seeing sharks here. But if you do, I don't bash on people who do like the feeding tours, because they are very, what's the word? They're animals that are, some of them are nocturnal, so they're not really doing a lot during the day. And a lot of them are really skittish, surprisingly. Yeah. You wouldn't think that of a shark, but most animals, like, we're human. We don't seem like very big to them, or, we might not think we seem big, but we are aliens. Like, we're literally aliens. So they're like, yo, what is this? So you would need something to entice them to come closer. And I always say, if it's a practice that has been going on for a while in an area, like, for example, the place I was doing research in, this had been like a 15, 20-year practice. So going and making sure that the management is aware of, or the management is focused on safety of you and the animals. I think that is the most ethical way to do any type of like feeding or provisioning tourism with sharks. So just making sure the animals are safe, you're safe, and if it's a practice that has been going on, like, it kind of just is what it is. You can't stop. I feel like saying just stop to something like that, it's very complicated, because you've got people's money, you've got the shark. We also don't really know how that affects the sharks. Mm-hmm. Surprisingly, we still don't truly know. We're kind of finding out that it's very area specific. So it's not going to be a blanket, like one size fits all type solution. But yeah, it is a very complicated thing, or complicated answer. But
no, for sure. Thank you for walking. Because again, it's one of those things, I think I'm in a space now where I really would want to experience something like that. But also I feel like, it might be special if I go to a place and like your Hammerhead shark experience, like what a cool, feels like you're in a Studio Ghibli movie or something,
Right. Yes.
What other sharks should we be obsessed with?
Let's see. We should be obsessed with epaulet sharks. I love epaulet sharks. They are like the little walking sharks. They kind of walk like little salamanders, really, but they're really cool. I remember I read a paper. They're able to stay out of the water and walk on the so they literally will walk on the tide pools, like across tide pools during the low tide. Yeah. Whoa. So when the tide gets low, they're able to still be out of the water for like a couple hours. And it's because their brain releases some type of chemical that is like making it so they don't need as much oxygen, essentially. Wow. So it's almost like they're holding their breath the whole time. And their brain is like, it's okay if you hold your breath, you'll still be fine. Like, and they're also super cute. They're just really cute and they're really pretty. But we should be obsessed with epaulet sharks, and we should also be obsessed with, another fun shark is the Atlantic sharpnose. They're kind of like one of the most abundant shark species that you can find here in the Atlantic, but they're just really funny. Like, I don't know, they're really small. You got this really cute, like kind of dorky looking face, and they always try to bite off more than they can chew. Oh. Like every time I've caught an Atlantic sharpnose is when we have like size 16 hooks. So those are hooks that we use to catch like bull sharks, like big shark.
Yeah.
And we'll have this big piece of barracuda on there. And usually, and when we're going offshore, we'll at least get one Atlantic sharpnose that has tried to eat that piece of barracuda that is literally bigger than that shark. But and they're always on those big hooks. Like, it's just actually wild. Like, literally a shark that is quite literally this big. Like, wow, not 3 feet maybe. Just trying to take a huge chunk out of something that is the same size as its head. So that always just, I don't know, this makes me laugh. Like,
relatable.
Literally, their eyes are bigger than there's something.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Carlee, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. What can people do to help MIISS right now? Any events coming up? This will come out again around Shark Week, basically. Okay. So
cool. Yeah. Yes. Well, I had a wonderful time. I love talking sharks. That is my favorite thing to do. And some stuff we have coming up. So we usually have a big fundraiser in the fall, and it's called Sharkathon, and we raise money, and that's like our next biggest fundraiser coming up. It usually starts like October-ish, the end of October. And on our social media pages, we're going to be going pretty hard for Shark Month and Shark Week, so definitely stay up to date with our social media. Like, share all of that. And since we are a nonprofit, we always do great when there's donations. So donating to our initiatives during Shark Week, we usually run a campaign for that as well. But yeah, because, with a lot of the funding cuts, we are having to cut back on some of our programming and who can participate, things like that. So that's always helpful. Yeah. But yeah, we've got more programs coming up soon. We've got lots of really cool things planned for social media. So Cool.
Well, thank you so much. Where can they follow you?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at Carlee Jackson _ and that's mainly where I am right now. So find me there.
Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for listening. And yeah, the ocean is a wonderful place. It doesn't have dinosaurs in it, but I think anything that's survived longer, that's been around longer than dinosaurs, is pretty dang cool. So until next time.